Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unit 2, What Shapes an Individual? In this unit, we'll be looking at norms, roles, and institutions for both individuals, and then as we move through our social structures. In the Minds On activity, you're looking at some video clips from Life in a Day. It was on Netflix recently. You may have seen it. If not, it was in the public domain a couple years ago. Essentially, it's a movie that looks at how individuals or families live one day. And it goes all over the world and gives you a sense of the differences for each person from the time they wake up till the time they go to sleep. You'll be looking at two different clips. One's called Snow, the other's called Ron. Watch those clips, and then I want you to sort of think about the impact or the differences for those two individuals. Remember to keep this a safe space. So as we move through this course, the discussions, maybe the assignments that you're posting, maybe what you're sharing with each other if you're in the same school, you want to make sure that you're being careful not to disclose too much personal experience. If you're talking about somebody else in the course, don't share names. Make sure that you are respectful of other people's stories and respectful with what you're planning to share yourself. Some subjects might be difficult to talk about. That's okay. That's why we have optional discussions. If things become too personal, that's just not one that you need to do, so you can move ahead to something else. In terms of your first optional discussion for Unit 2, it's how experiences shape lives. So you can post for these two questions. You would have to do both if you're choosing this discussion as one of your four. Consider the individuals in this video. You're going to talk about how their lives are, what kind of differences they've experienced, how this impacts relationships or choices. And then you're going to think about your own life or the life of somebody else and how they've been impacted. So life experiences that have had impacts on them and how this has impacted their relationships or their choices. Moving into the action section of the course, we're looking at individual development and the transition to adulthood. We're going to start by looking at your life in Canada. So think about your life when you were 15. This is for a portfolio assignment. I will not be marking this. It's to get your gears running, to get you thinking and reflecting on the types of thought processes that we need in a course such as this. So a little more introspective. What are the roles or expectations you had for yourself, societal norms in the area that you grew up, values that were important to you, or social institutions that had an impact. So just getting warmed up. Case study analysis is the next piece. Now, there is a trigger warning here because the three case studies that we will be looking at deal with abuse, war, violence, and sexual violence, so they can be difficult. Pick the one that you are most comfortable discussing. The individuals are all 15 in these case studies. They've each experienced some very difficult and different situations. Read through them. If it gets too difficult to read through one of them, skip to another one. One of the three will work for you. There's a template here to help you organize your information. When you open the template, you can see that it's broken everything down to answer the questions as we have them outlined. Level 4, make sure that you're using complete sentences and even referencing the work. You can use something like EasyBib or a citation machine to give proper references to the course, to the unit activity number, and it's a Ministry of Education resource. The first case study is for someone named Hiba, who is a refugee. Case number 2 is for Summer, who is a member of one of the First Nation communities in Ontario. And the third is Muhammad, who is a South African or South Sudan African. So you can look through those three cases. When you're finished doing that, there's a think about optional discussion here to reflect on the template. There's an enrichment activity, which again is optional. If you're really interested in these topics, you might want to look into further information from organizations such as UNICEF or Child Soldiers, Syrian Civil War, so you might want to look into that. For the consolidation piece, what you're going to be doing is moving through these case studies, selecting the one that you want to give the most information on, and you're going to consider what their life might be like 10 years from now or as an adult, how things will have changed. Write 2 unique endings for the case study, and in each ending, describe the circumstances they faced, the events that limited or liberated their options, the choices, and how their life ended up. For Unit 2, Assignment B option, reflect on the quotation that is listed above. So that's this quotation here by Joshua Dool. And what you're going to do is you want to talk about the transition to adulthood and the impact on social norms, expectations, roles, and social institutions. How do an individual's choices and decisions impact their future, Think about factors that can limit or liberate their options. How might your life or future be impacted by choices and decisions? And in what ways are you liberated by social norms, expectations, rules, and institutions? In what ways are you constrained? So think about that. Do your personal reflections, submit your activities there. So that should be enough for you for Unit 1, Activity 1. Remember, for a Level 4, maybe reflect on why something is a Level 4. Level 4 always exceeds the expectations of the course. So you're giving me that little bit extra. And if you're really sure it's a Level 4, you might want to tell me why yours exceeded the expectations so that we're clear. And then I can respond to that as well in my evaluations. Take care and enjoy this assignment.